With Tether, the big question everyone wants to know is it backed one-to-one to dollars? And I'll ask it that way in terms of, I think there's a bunch of different ways you could answer, but that's what everyone wants to know is, can I have confidence if I hold Tether that it's actually backed one-to-one to dollars? How do you respond?
So the answer is definitely yes. How you know that? So it has been in the public. So in 2021, so just a little bit more than 1 year ago, Tether settled with the New York Attorney General and then later on with the CFTC. So after the settlement, especially the first settlement, Tether started to provide what is actually the current standard for stablecoins, that is the attestation. So with the attestation, Tether shows that every single USDT, all the Tether tokens, are backed 100% by reserves. So that happened pretty soon after the settlement with the New York Attorney General, and after and it's a process that is ongoing on a quarterly basis. So on a quarterly basis, Tether is offering these attestations. And even more so, after the first attestation that happened in February 2021, the following one contained another piece of information that at that time no one was offering, that was the breakdown of reserves. So we went one step further and started providing the breakdown of reserves, so showing how the portfolio was composed, right? So we could have not have done that, but yet we did. And then, of course, that raised some questions, especially on the commercial paper side. And then we went one step further, and we also provide a breakdown of the ratings of these reserves. Right now, it was made public that the vast majority of all the commercial papers are actually A2 or rated A2 or better or above, so A2, A1, AA. By not just by a random guy, but by the Standard & Poor's, that is the agency that rates almost everything in this world, including the treasuries. So the point we have been always making is, if you trust Standard & Poor's with the ratings that they provide to all the classic instruments, you should also rely on this evaluation when it comes to understanding the risk of Tether. Also, we have been providing this information also to the New York Attorney General on a quarterly basis and so on. So, a long story short, all the Tether tokens are more than 100% backed. And when I say more than 100% backed, it means that Tether has additional reserves that are kept. So all the activity that Tether has been doing over the last years, all the profits have been kept in the company to increase the backing, so that there is an additional buffer, a cushion for backing the Tether tokens.
Awesome. When I give you dollars and I get Tether back, where do those dollars go? Are they being lent out? Are they being held? Are they being invested in bonds or some types of securities? That's the second big question everyone has, is like, what happens to the dollars when they go in? And as a way, I think most people are trying to underwrite what risks they have.
So when someone buys Tether from tether.io, so you register on the website, you go through all the KYC and all these procedures to ensure that you are a good participant for the Tether primary market. Then these dollars go into Tether bank accounts. From there, there is they will be allocated to the portfolio. So just one important information, right? We talk about the breakdown of reserves that showed that we had a concentration of commercial papers. That also we claimed in 6 months ago that, given the feedback we got from the community, we would start decreasing the allocation of commercial papers. And in the last 6 months, the allocation of commercial papers went down 50%. Why I'm saying this? Because asked where Tether, the dollars that have been sent to Tether, where they go, right? So they go in this portfolio that is composed by cash equivalent, treasuries, commercial papers, and so on. So the way we address the risk is through a team of people that have decades of experience in managing portfolios. They also run a really thorough risk approach. So we, on a weekly basis, we analyze the risk of the portfolio using all the black swan events, including the 2008 crisis. And we know that in all these situations, all the Tether will be redeemable. Also, it's important to know when, again, you asked about risk, it's important to know that Tether never refused one redemption at any point in time. Even when 2020 was March, I believe that we just recently got the anniversary, it was the 12th of March when Donald Trump closed the inbound flights to US, the stock market and also the crypto market started losing ton of value, up to 50%. And also at that point in time, we never had an issue in processing any redemption.
Can you talk a little bit about what the impact of Tether on the market has been? Obviously, there's tons and tons of people around the world that want to use these new types of payment rails, but they want stable value. So for whatever reason, whether they're right or wrong, they view Bitcoin or Ether or any other cryptocurrency as volatile in US dollar exchange price. And so they want that stable value, which Tether was the first to provide at scale globally. What has been the impact of global adoption here?
Well, Tether was born in 2014 and was the first stablecoin, right? So nowadays, everyone talks about stablecoins, about CBDCs. We are discussing with the regulators, with central banks as well. And yeah, it was created as a simple idea, actually, because the idea of Tether was, let's take the brilliant innovation that was blockchain, that was powering Bitcoin, and apply it to the dollar. So Tether is a dollar on a blockchain. Simple. It really sounds simple now. Back in the time when all the exchanges in 2014 were sending back and forth wires and swearing because the wires were either blocked or lost or were taking like several days to clear. That was a brilliant innovation. And so Tether was born as a way to optimize the trading strategies of crypto traders. Because back in time, that was in 2013 was the first time Bitcoin price went above $1,000, and we were seeing spread across the exchanges that were massive. At some point, there were spreads around 20%. And in any financial industry of respect, you need to ensure one thing that is called arbitrage. So the arbitrage activity is the thing that will keep the price of the same asset in line across multiple trading venues. But in order to do so, you need to be able to move to transfer funds. The two legs of a trading pair, like Bitcoin US dollar, is composed by two legs, the Bitcoin side and the dollar side, right? So in order to have a proper trading market and a proper arbitrage across multiple trading venues, you have to be able to transfer Bitcoin and dollar at the same speed. In the traditional financial markets, you would send your stock holdings and your transfer dollars in the same way because it's a cross custodian transfer. But with Bitcoin is not the same thing. So you can move Bitcoin at in 10 minutes from one exchange to another. The average block time for Bitcoin is 10 minutes, but dollars were taking from 1 day to 5 days to clear, and your arbitrage opportunity was gone. And arbitrage means basically that you want to sell Bitcoin on the exchange where the price is higher and then move back the dollars that you earn in that way to the exchange where the price is lower, and then buy Bitcoin with those and transfer Bitcoin way back to the exchange where the price is higher. So you do this back and forth with important masses, and then you keep the price in line of across all the exchanges, right? And Tether kept growing due to this interest, because Tether went a little bit flat between 2014 and 2016, but then in 2016 exchanges like OKX and then OKCoin actually then eventually UOB, and then I recall Poloniex was actually the biggest exchange at that time that started to list Tether or all their pairs, all the crypto pairs, all the new ICOs against USDT. And then Bitfinex had the same thing. So we started to see enormous arbitrage opportunities that were eaten up by all the new professional trading firms that were coming to crypto. And they were all starting to use Tether. And now today, Tether is being traded across almost every single exchange. I would say every single exchange in this world. We have seen recently in the last year or so that also Coinbase started to accept Tether and allow Tether trading. So Tether started as a simple instrument, a simple tool for traders to optimize their trading activity, to allow arbitrage. But now, in the last 2-3 years, has been established as a cross-border payment solution, as a remittances solution, as a micro-payment solution. With the growth of the adoption of different blockchains, especially ones with lower fees, Tether is more and more used as an instrument for fast payments. And of course, is also considered an instrument of freedom. We are seeing that with also have been accepted in Ukraine officially by the Ukrainian government, and also in the Democratic Party, the Democratic movement in Myanmar. They claimed that the Tether was for them a legal tender. So it is, of course, is spreading in many different directions. Really, honestly, many more directions that we originally imagined.
Hey you, did you like this video? Great, we make 5 of them a day and post them here on this channel. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and see you next time.